Single parents, listen up. You may be pros at scheduling play dates, but how about dates?
Yeah, jumping back into the dating world can be tough, especially with stuff during the pandemic. So that as a new dating app just launched for the 20 million single moms and dads in the U.S. looking for a new partner. So we have local professional matchmaker Vanessa Sescila with It's Just Lunch joining us this morning, advice on how single parents can really juggle kids and dating. Vanessa, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, we know the past couple of years they've been really hard on parents, on single parents. So much juggling act that you're trying to do. What have you seen when it comes to the dating lives for that group?
Well, let's face it. Dating as a single parent is tricky enough alone. So that was before the pandemic. Add the pandemic, add remote working, add remote learning, add the everyday stresses of life. You know, single parents are really craving that comfort and support. So they're turning to matchmakers like myself, as well as these apps, to help them find that someone special.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you definitely, I think, are nervous as a single parent that, you know, you're trying to find someone, but it has to be somebody who's okay with sort of, you know, ultimately having a bit of an instant family, perhaps, or blending two families together, right?
100%. What I always tell my clients at It's Just Lunch, first and foremost, be honest. Be honest with yourself, be honest with your potential partner, and be honest with your children. You know, this could be a co-parent of yours. You want to sit them down and tell them, you know, mom or dad is dating again. When you're on those dates, don't just talk about the kids. Talk about your job, talk about your life, talk about, you know, things that you like to do. That's super important as well. And be honest when you're setting up these profiles. You have to say that you have kids, right? Just be honest about your parental status in general. And then when it's time to meet the kids, make sure it's right. You know, kids can become very attached very quickly. So you know your kids better than anybody, but you want to make sure that things are headed in that direction before you introduce your partner to your children.
Vanessa, what advice do you have for the person who is dating a single parent, whether or not they have kids or not?
You have to be flexible, right? This is the most important thing, because you're not only dating this person, you're dating their kids as well, because you're blending all the schedules. So you have to be honest. Open communication is really important, and just set proper expectations and just good communication all around.
What are some of the questions that you might ask, you know, when you're having those initial conversations? Because I imagine first date, like, you don't necessarily need to get into like what your parenting strategies are, right? I mean, there's an element of this that can go too far down the road too.
Just make that mistake. You know, even if you're on a date with another single parent, you know, your first go-to is to talk about the kids because you're both parents. But you don't want to do that all the time. People want to know you as a person. They want to know what your hobbies are. They want to know if they're going to be co-parenting with you and be your partner, what you're all about. So I think so many single parents do make that mistake of strictly talking about the kids because that's their comfort zone. So try to take a little.
Very good. Vanessa Sescila with It's Just Lunch. Vanessa, thanks for being with us.